This is the foundation inspection. We're standing at the rear right elevation by the porch. And we're coming round to the rear elevation. What we've got here is gravel around the actual porch itself, and then some stones here. That's okay, because it can drain, but this is a potential wet spot because of water being trapped. I don't think it will be, but I think you should, consider, don't consider putting anything more solid than these type of bricks in a place like this. Well, somebody's put a soaker hose in here. It's a little too close to the foundation. It should be some 18 inches back. And here we have a post tension cable end that's showing, and that should be covered up. You can see actually it extends a little bit too far outside from the actual foundation. You cut that off and cover it with a mortar, and that will protect it. We're at the rear left elevation of the property. And we've got a little bit of erosion down in this corner here. That's caused by the downpipe from the roof gutter. If you come here, you'll see what I mean by it. You can see that it's emptying here. And as it empties, it washes away the ground from underneath the foundation. So that should be repaired. This gutter should extend out. It should come out and away from the house by about 4 foot. You can buy gutter extensions that would do that for you. They only cost $6-7, very cheap. An issue which is known as pooling. You see, we've got a flower bed. Great, you might say, fine. However, what it does, you can see there's a metal liner coming along here at edges, and that traps water, and it traps water in this particular area running along there. You could solve the problem by cutting holes in it, that'll allow it to drain, but you definitely don't want it to get soggy here. You can see there's a lot of water has been in here because it's eroded. And you can see it's come up at the far side there. That's again caused by that downpipe. In addition, running along this side of the house, you have a lot of bushes. They need to be cut back and reduced in size. They expirate large quantities of water. In fact, bushes really shouldn't be planted next to foundations. It's not a good idea. Now the bushes are cut back from the foundation, from the walls, which is good. Nice gap. Just cut them down lower. Less leaves, less expiration. Better still, remove them. As I say, they're not really a good thing to have next to your foundation. We're moving to the front elevation, and this area here is very wet. You can see it's wet. What's giving me clues to it is if you look at the foundation itself, you'll see there's green mold on it. It indicates that this area is kept very, very wet, and this is the cause of it, this edging. It's going to trap water. So we're moving to the front elevation of the property. can't see the foundation at this point. And we're now at the front right. Again, we've got erosion here. You can see down the bottom here that the foundation below the grade has been exposed. In other words, since it was built, it's eroded, and what was once below the grade, underground, is now exposed. Yeah, you can see quite a lot of erosion here. That's really got to be rebuilt. The grade should come to within 4 inches of the brick line. Now here we've got bushes that have been grown up around the air conditioning unit. Very bad idea. The problem with this is that the air conditioning unit really needs to have unobstructed air drawn into it, and it wants to be clean. Well, bushes aren't clean, and as a consequence you're going to get all sorts of debris sucked from these bushes into your AC unit. So A, I would like to see these removed because they're not good for the foundation, but B, we've got another issue in terms of long-term use of the air conditioning unit becoming dirty. Okay, more erosion here by the downpipe. And here we got a hole. That's not good. Here the foundation is being undermined. We're at the right rear elevation by the fence, and we've got undermining of the foundation. That's got to be filled in. This is the grade inspection. What we're looking for is good slope away, which we have here. This property has a small retaining wall. These walls are incredibly important. They actually are there to keep your property in the right place. Now, this is not quite 4 foot high, and as such it doesn't need to be an engineered wall, but I wouldn't mind putting money on it that is engineered. The condition of it as of the day of the inspection is okay. We haven't got any bowing, it's not tipping. It looks very stable. We're at the front elevation. You can see here the drive is starting to sink. Not uncommon, but the drive itself is good and the drainage is great. Let's go to the left elevation. As you can see, it's got good drainage. We've mentioned the pooling issues with the flower beds. And then we'll go to the rear elevation. And we have a slope away, and it drains to the 2 side yards. At the rear of the yard we have another retaining wall. This retaining wall is actually on the property of your neighbour. And then we have this retaining wall out the back here. We've looked at one side of it already. This is the roof inspection. We're looking for the general condition of the roof. Now, one thing that as a home inspector, it's very difficult for me to ascertain whether there's been any hail damage. And we've had hail recently, but there's no roofs around here that look like they need repairing. So it could be okay. We're now at the front elevation. We're looking at the penetrations. Looking good. We have the occasional nail head showing. They should be caulked. Chimney siding's in good condition. We have a chimney cap. Overall, everything's looking good at this elevation. We're at the rear elevation. We're observing the roof from the ground here. I've been up on part of the roof. I've not moved around on the whole roof because it's very steep, and without lifelines it's dangerous for me. But we can see all we need to see from here. This is the attic inspection. Got wasps, have we? Oh yeah.
Well, this would be part of the. That's why I would want to treat the whole attic. I wouldn't even think about not doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, that garage deal may blow the deal out of the water for them, though.
No, it's easy to fix. I can fix it in a heartbeat. I'm going to explain now. We're in the attic at the moment, and you can see down the bottom of the attic, over the garage, we have an air handler. It both heats and cools. This one, in fact, is purely electric. And then we have a cooling system, air condition the attic. Now the problem with this is that it will move air from the garage into the attic, and then it can escape out into the attic itself. And that is of course attached to the rest of the house. This means you could spread fumes from the garage around the house. This air handler has to be disconnected, which is very easy. Disconnect it from the return and from the registers and seal it. Then you could probably sell the unit at a profit to an air conditioning company that'll come and remove it for you. Should cost you very little. If nothing, you should make money out of it, since the unit has value itself. And there is a compressor for it on the back of the yard. We'll go and look at that now. This is the garage, and we have return air here, pot lights in the garage. They were installed when the garage was being used as an office for the show house. Up here we have a filter. This whole area here needs to be sealed from the rest of the house, and I'm sure you have noticed in the past how if you come to your door in the garage, you've got a weather seal and you have a fire door. These are important. They're not just by chance. What is actually happening is when that door's closed, it's a 1 hour fire door, so should a fire start in the attic here, it's not going to get into the house for at least an hour. It gives you a chance to escape. The sheetrock, that in fact is going to be 5/8 sheetrock. It's thicker, gives 1 hour prevention of fire, and all around this area here should be sealed. There should be no way fire or fumes can get up into the attic, because if they get into the attic, then they can cause a fire. Now, you cannot use this garage as a garage until these things have been fixed. The air conditioning unit needs to be disconnected and that roof ceiling there sealed. The pot lights need to be disconnected and the whole ceiling area sealed. Here, the return sealed. In addition, you need to add weather sealing to the door here, the attic door, to ensure that that will not allow fumes to go in there. Now the cost of that won't be too high, and you should be able to finance it by selling the air conditioning unit which is in the garage, which has a certain amount of value to it. This is the wall and window inspection. We're at the porch, and very small point, but it's certainly something that's worth taking care of. You see here you have a steel lintel. They go over the two doors, so the door and the window. They should have weep holes in them. Weep holes are these holes down here. You can see in the brick here. That's a weep hole. And what it does is it allows air to circulate inside the cavity wall, and prevent condensation forming on the top of the lintel. If it forms on top of the lintel, it can cause it to rust because it sits there, and then the rusting lintel pushes down in the middle and up at the ends and cracks the brickwork on either side. So well worth getting that fixed. So we're looking at the walls. Now, there's a method in madness for looking at walls. What we're trying to establish is if there's been any movement in this building. And if there is, what's causing it? Foundations in this part of the world move all the time because the ground goes up and down with the amount of moisture in the soil. We're now at the left elevation. Again, we're looking for cracks in the brickwork. There's an expansion gap there. It's complete. Down here between the windows. Okay, yeah, now this is very common. Down in the corners here of the windows we have cracks appearing in the brick. That just happens, and the caulking is deteriorating. I recommend that every window in the house is recorked. It's going to save you money, and it will prevent moisture getting in between the walls in the hot summers. Continuing the wall inspection. Well, up here you can see that the caulking around the arch has deteriorated considerably. It's going to allow moisture inside the wall. What happens is in the summer it gets very hot and you air condition your house, and heat flows from hot to cold. It's the second law of thermodynamics, and as it passes through it's heavily laden with moisture, and that moisture condenses out, and then you get damp behind that wall, and that can lead to mold. So far on the rear and left elevation of the property we have no cracks. That's all looking good. Now looking at the front elevation. A little bit of settlement here. It's only cosmetic, nothing to worry about. A little bit of settlement here. You can see the bit of cracking around here. That's caused by this little bit of erosion here. You put that support that foundation there, that will stop that happening. Let's move to the right elevation of the property. validation. This is the electrical inspection. I have an electrical box over here. Now, the electrical box has been painted, and that's incorrect. Should never paint these. I've got to be careful around here. We've got a lot of brown recluse, and the garage in particular. I don't know whether there's a brush around. I can sweep the area. No, just be careful. So, this is the electrical panel. Panel itself is okay. We have arc fault detectors, and on the other side of the wall here we're going to have the meter. Here's the meter, and down on the bottom here we have a grounding bar. So we've got grounding to the bar. The meter's fine. It's secure. Let's move in, and we're going to take the electrical panel apart. Now, the reason you shouldn't paint these is paints can be an accelerant. They can accelerate a fire. I think this is an emulsion, in which case it's not so bad. Years ago these would have been all oil paints, and that makes it even worse. But you should never paint these anyway. They should be left as they come from the manufacturer. There's a very high quality paint on it. I know people like to camouflage them, but you know, damn it, it's in a garage. There goes a little spider. There's a brown recluse. This is a dangerous area for brown recluses as far as the home inspection is concerned, because they hide in the panel itself. Now, we've hit a problem with this panel. You see here, it's very difficult to get the screws out because they're full of paint. And the next thing that's going to happen is going to be difficult to get the panel off because it is full of paint. There's spiders everywhere. I have never seen so many. And I don't want to end up in the ER because of them. Okay, live crickets, spider bait, looking inside the panel itself. It's infested with spiders. They won't do the panel any harm. Okay, have we got it bonded? Yes, we have. It's bonded. We've got wire size and condition. Okay, 200 amp supply. All looks good in the actual panel today. As I say, you saw with the report from the drop tip pest control that you have a real issue with brown recluse spiders. It's the only spider that really worries me. I don't care about black widows and stuff like that, but the brown recluse is a nasty little creature. So I'm going to put the panel back and cover up the spiders. I hate this. I hate these bloody spiders. That's GFCI trick. Close to water you need GFCIs. There's one in the kitchen by the sink. Be another one in the bathroom. There we go. That's working. And then we have the master. That will have a GFCI as well. There it is, and this one is tied into a guest bathroom. There we go. That's working. We're going to randomly sample the circuits. We do each wall, ensure that we actually have power, and I'm going to do that for the entire house, but I'm not going to video it because it's too much. This is the plumbing inspection. First thing we're going to check for is sufficient flow. Our test for it is whether or not we get water, sufficient volume of water out of the shower while we're running the tub, and in this case we do. So we have sufficient flow. Now these handles of this faucet here, the left handle is loose. That needs to be rectified. This is the faucets for the vanities. And we have the loo. Okay, in there. Slow drain on the vanity on the right hand side. Vanity in the guest bathroom. Slow drain in the vanity sink in the guest bathroom. Hasn't got a safety pan. Now because it hasn't got a safety pan and because it backs onto the wall of the house, this could at some point flood the house. The other side of the house, the other side here, will go through into the kitchen. The water heater is behind this wall here. So if it does leak, it's going to leak into the kitchen. So I recommend that you place a water sensing device. It costs about 30 bucks. You can buy them from Home Depot or Lowe's. You just put it beneath the unit itself, and if it does leak, it will set an alarm off. This is the temperature pressure relief valve, and we're going to test it by opening it, and it's not opening. That means that must be replaced. That is a safety device. It keeps us all safe. As it is at the moment, should the temperature and the pressure exceed certain limits, this unit can explode, because this temperature pressure relief valve is not working. Up here we're looking at the hood, and the hood is loose. You see, I move it. That's not good. These feet for the hood should be screwed into the actual unit. It should have metal screws holding it in, and it doesn't. There is corrosion here at the tap, which means there's probable corrosion inside the tank. Now, tanks in this part of the world only last between 6 and 10 years. So there's no real guarantee when they're going to go out. They just, because of the acidic water, they only last a short number of years. Station 2 is running. Interrupt. This is station 3. Station 4, it's the front flower beds. Station 5 is now running. Station 6. Station 7, we're at the rear yard now. Now, on Station 7, we have a broken head. That's Station 7, broken head. Nice little ornamental fountain. Not exactly what you want in the middle of your lawn when you want to irrigate it. Okay, Station 8 is the side yard. Head is up and running. Let's go and have a look on the outside. Okay, Station 8 is running. Side yard. All the way down. No apparent broken heads. So we have 8 stations operating, and we have a broken head in Station 7.
Hello, my name is Craig Ackman with Drop Dead Pest Control. I've done the termite and wood destroying inspection here today at 5412 Ridgeson Drive in McKinney, Texas. There are Centricon stations around the outside of the perimeter of the home, which are termite monitoring stations is what they really are. They're to monitor for the termite activity. I've checked each and every one of those. We have no termite activity in those particular stations. I've also checked inside the house, outside the house for termite activity. Have not found any termite activity in either one of those. What I have found is carpenter ant activity, previous activity in various window seals throughout the house that are dead because they've been eaten by the spiders. There's also live carpenter ants on the exterior of the house. It's also noted on the graph, which would be this basically back window area, porch area where the live carpenter ants are at this moment in time, which are a wood destroying insect. So I have suggested and recommended that we do a treatment. I've also found two different areas on the outside of the house where the runoff from the house has eroded the soil away to where it's below the foundation line. That's a conducive condition for termites, for number one. Number two, cause you foundation problems when we start talking about the lifetime of the structure. As a bonus of a yellow hat inspection, also inspect for all the other general pests. We found some different wasps, some pill bugs, some sow bugs, a bunch of different general pests, crickets. But what we have found is majority of brown recluse spiders. Brown recluse spiders are poisonous spiders. All spiders are poisonous, but brown recluse spiders particularly have the ability to cause damage to the human very quickly, effectively, and fastly. And there are many, more than 12, in multiple areas in this home. I would highly recommend a treatment, a thorough treatment of this home before moving into it for anybody. I would not move my family in this home without treating for them brown recluse spiders, period. Just being honest with you. It can be taken care of. There's a right way to do it, there's a minimum way to do it, and there's a thorough way to do it. The way that we do it is a thorough way to do it. My phone number is 972-359-0803. Be more than happy to work you up an estimate, a bid, and all that if you'd be interested in having that service performed, as well as the treatment for the carpenter ants, which are wood destroying insects, can take care of that as well. Once again, my name is Craig Ackman, 972-359-0803.